The personal tragedy of Princess Beatrice of York. The loss of her first love, the mysterious circumstances of her death, the impact on the royal family, the revelations of the autopsy report, and the lasting emotional toll on the princess. In the hushed corridors of Buckingham Palace, some secrets are so painful that they forever mark those who bear them. Today, we lift the veil on one of the most intimate tragedies of the British royal family, a story that broke the heart of Princess Beatrice of York and whose echoes still resonate in her private life today. If this video resonates with you, please subscribe to our channel, share this story with your loved ones, and tell us in the comments what you think of this shocking revelation. Your support allows us to continue bringing you these exclusive stories that shape the British monarchy. Princess Beatrice Elizabeth Mary of York, the eldest daughter of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, has always embodied discretion and elegance within the royal family. Born on August 8, 1988, she grew up in the shadows of the spotlight, trying to lead as normal a life as possible despite her rank. But behind this facade of serenity lies a deep wound that marked her youth and continues to influence her relationships today. The story begins during Beatrice's university years, when she was studying history and the history of ideas at Goldsmiths College, London. It was there that she met the man who would become her first great love, a brilliant and promising young man whose identity was long kept secret by the royal family. Sources close to the palace now reveal that he was a medical student from a middle-class London family who shared with Beatrice a common passion for art and history. Their relationship, born in the privacy of university lecture halls, quickly blossomed despite the constraints of royal protocol. The young man, whom we will call Alexander to respect his family's wishes, was described by all who knew him as an exceptionally talented and caring person. He possessed that rare quality of being able to make Beatrice forget her status as a princess, offering her those moments of normalcy that she so cherished. For nearly 2 years, their love grew in the shadows, protected by a small circle of loyal friends and the complicity of Princess Eugenie, Beatrice's sister, who saw her sister shine like never before. Alexander was regularly invited to the family's private residences, and even Prince Andrew had developed a genuine affection for this young man who made his daughter so happy. Future plans naturally emerged between the two young people. Alexander had graduated with the highest honors and was preparing to begin his specialization in cardiology, while Beatrice was seriously considering the idea of making their relationship official in the public eye. Discussions with royal advisors had even begun to prepare for a possible official announcement of their engagement. But fate had other plans. On a cold November evening, Alexander returned home after a particularly grueling shift at the hospital. Witnesses to his final hours report that he seemed tired but in good spirits, enthusiastically discussing his weekend plans with Beatrice. He had planned to propose during a trip to Scotland they had planned for the holiday season. What happened in the hours that followed remains shrouded in mystery to this day. Alexander was found the next morning by his roommate, collapsed in his apartment. Emergency personnel, called immediately, could only pronounce him dead. The news reached Beatrice that afternoon, while she was attending a charity event on behalf of the royal family. The impact was devastating. Those present that day describe a princess completely devastated, unable to comprehend what had just happened. She literally collapsed, and it took the discreet intervention of the royal security services to remove her from prying eyes and return her as quickly as possible to her family. The following weeks were particularly difficult. Beatrice withdrew into a profound silence, refusing to eat properly or receive her loved ones. The royal family, usually so in control of its emotions, found itself helpless in the face of such intense and pure grief. Sarah Ferguson, despite her complicated relationship with the monarchy, immediately returned to her daughter's side to surround her with all her maternal love. The autopsy report, the results of which were released several weeks later, revealed a truth even more tragic than the family could have imagined. Alexander suffered from an undiagnosed congenital heart defect, a rare condition that can remain silent for years before suddenly manifesting. Medical examiners concluded that he had died of sudden cardiac arrest, likely aggravated by the stress and fatigue accumulated during his intensive medical studies. This revelation was particularly cruel for Beatrice, who learned that the man she loved had lived with this sword of Damocles hanging over his head without even knowing it. Ironically, Alexander, who had been destined to heal sick hearts, himself carried this fatal fragility that no routine examination had been able to detect. The following months marked a turning point in the princess's life. She temporarily stepped back from public engagements, benefiting from the unconditional support of her grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, who understood better than anyone the sacrifices the crown sometimes imposes on those who wear it. The sovereign discreetly arranged extended stays at Scottish residences, away from the London spotlight, allowing Beatrice to grieve at her own pace. The healing process was long and painful. Beatrice undertook extensive therapeutic work, assisted by discreet specialists handpicked by the Royal Health Service. She gradually learned to transform her grief into strength, her loss into motivation to help others. It was during this period that she developed her commitment to heart health charities, finding in this cause a way to give meaning to her personal tragedy. The impact of this loss is still felt today in Princess Beatrice's life choices. Those close to her note that she approaches her romantic relationships with particular caution, as if fearful of reliving such pain. Her marriage to Edoardo Mapelli-Mazzi in 2020 was seen by many as a personal victory, proof that she had successfully rebuilt her capacity to love despite the wounds of the past. Edoardo himself confided to those close to her that it took time for Beatrice to lower her defenses and trust him. He understood that this was not a mistrust of him personally, but the scars left by such a sudden and unexpected loss. Their relationship was built on a foundation of mutual patience and a deep understanding of each other's fragility. The birth of their daughter Sienna in 2021 symbolically marked a rebirth for Beatrice. She had finally managed to rebuild her love and family life, without forgetting the man who had shaped her early years. Sources close to the family reveal that she still keeps mementos of Alexander in a private box and discreetly pays tribute to him on important anniversaries. This personal tragedy also strengthened Beatrice's bond with her sister Eugenie, who was her main support during this difficult time. The two sisters, already close friends, developed an even closer relationship, with Eugenie becoming Beatrice's trusted confidant for her pain and hopes. Their current bond is rooted in these moments of shared vulnerability. Beatrice's charitable commitment to heart health is therefore no accident. She has discreetly funded several programs for early detection of heart defects in young adults, hoping to prevent other families from experiencing what she went through. Her approach remains deliberately discreet, far from major media galas, prioritizing effectiveness over visibility. The specialized doctors who work with her foundations attest to her in-depth knowledge of the medical issues related to heart disease. She trained herself, driven by the desire to understand what took Alexander's life and how to prevent similar tragedies. This expertise, acquired through pain, has made her a respected voice in the British medical community today. The royal family has always maintained total silence about this period of Beatrice's life, respecting her request for privacy during her mourning. Even official biographies of the princess refer to this period in very general terms, speaking of a personal ordeal that helped shape her character without ever going into detail. This secrecy only fueled speculation in the tabloid press, which long sought to unravel the mystery of Beatrice's period of absence from the public eye. Some media outlets had suggested mental health issues or family difficulties, far from suspecting the true nature of her suffering. The royal family preferred to let these rumors run wild rather than reveal such a deeply personal truth. Today, at 35, Princess Beatrice has found a balance between her royal responsibilities, her family life, and her charitable work. But those who know her well know that this childhood tragedy continues to haunt her, giving her the particular depth and natural empathy for the suffering of others that characterize her public persona. Alexander remains present in her life in a symbolic way. She discreetly wears a ring he gave her for their one-year anniversary, transformed into a pendant that she hides under her clothes during official appearances. It's her way of keeping a part of the love that marked her youth, while building her new life with Edoardo. This story reminds us that behind the royal pomp and circumstance lie human beings with their fragility and wounds. Princess Beatrice was able to transform a personal tragedy into a driving force to help others, proving that even the greatest pain can become a source of generosity and commitment. Alexander's legacy lives on today through the charitable actions of his beloved, creating a form of posthumous continuation of their love story through service to others. This transformation of pain into active compassion illustrates the princess's remarkable resilience and her ability to make sense of the most difficult trials. Do you think that certain personal tragedies can ultimately reveal a person's true character and push them toward their true destiny?